In the spotlight tonight is Kevin Johnston-Smith from Cheshire, a vet, and his specialist subject is prehistoric art. Steve Bolsover from Harrow, a university professor whose subject is the novels of Charles Dickens. Geoff Thomas from Northwich, a retired college lecturer, and his subject is Edith Piaf. And Chris McCoy from Bolton, a data analyst whose subject is James Dean. Humphreys, and welcome to Mastermind. Tonight, once again, we welcome 4 contenders into the notorious black chair. Against the clock, they will be tested on their knowledge and their chosen subjects and on their general knowledge. One of them will go through to the next round of the possibility of making it to the grand final and the great honour of becoming the nation's mastermind. So let's have our first contender, please. And your name is?
Kevin Johnston-Smith.
Your occupation?
Veterinary surgeon.
And your chosen subject?
Prehistoric art.
Prehistoric art in 2 minutes. What name, first used by the Marquis de Vibray in the 1860s, is given to the small female figurines that date from the Upper Paleolithic period?
Venuses.
Correct. The AMS carbon dating technique has been used to date many prehistoric artefacts. What do the letters AMS stand for?
Accelerated mass spectrometry.
Correct. Which French priest believed that Paleolithic art had developed in 2 consecutive independent cycles, each of which progressed from simple to complex forms?
Abbé Breuil.
Yes. What is the woman holding in her right hand in the large bas-relief found at Locelle in Dordogne?
A horn.
Correct. The Venus of Willendorf is carved from a particular form of which type of limestone that's not found in the area of Austria where it was discovered?
Dolomitic?
No, oolitic. What is unusual about the head of the crudely painted man in the narrative scene in Lascaux who seems to be falling backwards in front of a partially disemboweled bison?
The head. He's looking upwards.
No, he has the head of a bird. What is the distinctive feature of the horses that are painted on the celebrated panel at the Peshmerl cave?
They're spotted.
Yes. In rock art, powdered manganese dioxide was one of the principal sources of which colour?
Black.
Yes. Britain's oldest known rock art, dating back more than 12,800 years, was discovered in which limestone gorge on the Nottinghamshire-Derbyshire border?
Cresswell Crags.
Correct. Which chamber in the Chauvet cave contains the panel of the Sacred Heart and the alcove of yellow horses?
Hilaire?
No, Brunel. What name did Wolfgang Erich Wendt give to the site in Namibia where he found what was believed at the time to be Africa's oldest rock art in July 1969?
Apollo 11?
Yes. Which extinct giant deer is depicted in a number of cave paintings, notably at Chauvet, Cosquet and Cognac?
Megarosaurus or Irish elk?
Yes. Which explorer's name is given to the delicately painted human figures of the Kimberley Plateau of northwestern Australia?
Bradshaw. Correct.
What term did André Leroi-Gourhan use for the 4 stages of development of Paleolithic art that he proposed?
Pass.
The art of which culture that succeeded, I've started so I shall finish, that succeeded the Aurignacian is characterised by the fat Venus figurines?
Gravettian.
Gravettian is correct. You had 1 pass. Styles is the term that André Leroi-Gourhan used. 1 pass. Kevin Johnston-Smith, 11 points. And our next contender, please. And your name?
Steve Bolsover.
Your occupation?
University professor.
And your chosen subject?
It's the novels of Charles Dickens.
Charles Dickens in 2 minutes. In Charles Dickens' Bleak House, what unusual death befalls the eccentric scrap dealer, Mr. Crook?
He spontaneously combusts.
He does. What is the subtitle of Barnaby Rudge that refers to the events of the date which form the novel's backdrop?
Pass.
Tommy Traddles is described as the merriest and most miserable of all the boys at which school in David Copperfield?
Salem House.
Yes, in A Tale of Two Cities. What's Jarvis Lorry's 3-word reply to the mysterious message that he receives while he's travelling to Paris as an agent for Tellson's Bank?
Pass.
Which character uses the aliases Julius Handford and John Rokesmith at various times during his adventures?
John Harmon.
Correct. In The Old Curiosity Shop, what's the name of the kindly proprietor of the waxworks whom Nellie Trent and her grandfather travel with while fleeing from Quilp?
Mrs. Jarby.
Jarlee. The supposedly 10-year-old Ninetta Crummles appears on stage under what theatrical title in Nicholas Nickleby?
The Prodigy.
The infant phenomenon. In Little Dorrit, which office, whose principle is how not to do it, is described as the most important department under government?
The Circumlocution Department.
The Circumlocution Office, yes. What is the name of the manor house in which Miss Havisham has shut herself away after being jilted on her wedding day many years earlier?
Pass.
Who was the principal illustrator of Oliver Twist when it was first published in 3 volumes in 1838 and also in the cheap edition of 1850?
Fizz.
Cruikshank. In Hard Times, what's the occupation of Sleary, who helps Mr. Gradgrind Sr. arrange for his son Tom to flee abroad?
A landlord.
Circus proprietor. The bullying Sergeant Buzzfuzz acts for Mrs. Bardell in her breach of promise suit, but who is Mr. Pickwick's totally ineffectual lead counsel?
Pass.
Which of Dickens' villains has daughters who are ironically named Charity and Mercy?
No.
Well, I could tell you, I'll take it as a pass. Pecksniff is the man. Snubbin is the bullying sergeant. Satius Manor House is the name of the manor house in which Miss Havisham shut herself away. Recalled to Life was Jarvis Lorry's 3-word reply. Subtitle of Barnaby Rudge, A Tale of the Riots of 80. And those were your 5 passes. Steve Bolsover, 4 points. And our next contender, please. And your name is?
Geoff Thomas.
Your occupation?
Retired lecturer.
And your chosen subject?
The life and music of Edith Piaf.
Edith Piaf in 2 minutes. Edith Piaf was born in 1915 and originally had the surname Gassion, but from which English heroine was her first name taken?
Edith Cavell.
Correct. In which small town near Lisieux in Normandy was the brothel where Piaf was brought up by a grandmother after being abandoned by her mother?
Bernay.
Yes. Which tune written by Piaf during the Second World War became a worldwide success and had a Broadway nightclub named after it?
La Vie en Rose.
Yes. On which street off the Champs-Élysées was Gurney's Cabaret Club where Piaf first appeared in 1935?
Folies Bergère Street.
Pierre Charon. In the lyric of the song Les Trois Cloches by Jean Villard, what is the name of the man for whom the bells toll?
Jean-François Nicot.
Correct. Which role does Piaf play in Jean Renoir's film French Cancan, in which he sings La Sérénade du Pave?
Eugénie Buffet.
Correct. Piaf's best-known song, Non je ne regrette rien, ends with which 5 French words?
Je me fous du passé.
No, aujourd'hui, ça commence avec toi. At which venue did Piaf first meet the champion boxer Marcel Cerdan in 1946, the two becoming lovers the following year?
Club des Cinq.
Yes. Which Piaf song with words and musical by Michel Aimé is about a prostitute who loses her street musician lover in the war?
L'accordéoniste.
Correct. Who was the witness and matron of honour at Piaf's marriage to her first husband, Jacques Pils, in New York?
Marlène Dietrich.
Correct. In the mid-30s, Piaf recorded the first of many songs composed by Marguerite Monod. What was its title?
L'étranger.
Yes, which writer said, if Piaf dies, part of me will die with her, and passed away on the same day as she did?
Jean Cocteau.
Correct. Which librettist and key figure in Piaf's life wrote many songs for her, including Je n'en connais pas le fin and On danse sur ma chanson?
Raymond Assou.
Correct. At which New York venue did Piaf go on stage the night after Cerdan's death in an air crash and announce that she would be singing that evening for him alone?
The ABC Club.
Versailles Club. Which critic wrote in the... Start itself, finish. Which critic wrote in the newspaper L'Intransigeant, Piaf is the wistful and impetuous spirit of Musette, and one imagines her as a street singer singing in tenement courtyards?
Albert Camus.
No, it was Maurice Verne. No passes. Geoff Thomas, you have 11 points. And our final contender, please. And your name is?
Chris McCoy,
Your occupation?
data analyst.
And your chosen subject?
James Dean.
James Dean in 2 minutes. James Dean was born in which small town in Indiana on the 8th of February 1931?
Marion.
Correct. Dean was billed under what stage name in the Santa Monica Theatre Guild's 1949 production of The Romance of Scarlet Gulch?
Dean James.
Byron James. With which actress did Dean successfully audition for the Actors Studio in New York?
Christine White.
Yes. On which 1950 television game show did Dean test the safety of the stunts that some of the studio audience members would later perform?
Beat the Clock.
Yes. What job was Dean employed in when he met Rogers Brackett, a producer and advertising agent with good contacts in Hollywood?
Car park attendant.
Yes. Which role did Dean play in the UCLA production of Macbeth in November 1950, after which he dropped out of college?
Malcolm.
Correct. In Giant, what's the title of the book that Leslie notices on the table when she visits Jet Rink and takes tea with him at Little Riata?
Pass.
What was the name of Dean's character in the play See the Jaguar, in which he made his Broadway debut and which ran for less than a week in December 52?
Wally Wilkins.
Yes, in Rebel Without a Cause, what's the name of the gang member who's played by Frank Mazzola and is shot by Plato in the deserted mansion?
Crunch.
Yes, for which organisation did Dean make a safety commercial in July 1955 with Gig Young?
National Highway Safety Association.
Yes, National Highway Safety Committee. In East of Eden, according to Julie Harris's character Abra, what do the girls in class call Caleb?
Pass.
Which book is said to have been Dean's favourite and includes the words, "It is only with one's heart that one can see clearly. What is essential is invisible to the eye"?
The Little Prince.
Yes, in Giant, what was the name of the hotel built to serve Jet Rink Airport?
Emperador.
Correct. With which future co-star did Dean make an uncredited appearance in the 1952 comedy Has Anybody Seen My Gal?
Rock Hudson.
Yes, what's the occupation of Gustav Albrecht, played by Harold Gordon, who becomes the victim of anti-German sentiment in East of Eden?
Watchmaker.
Shoemaker. Dean was issued with a speeding ticket just south of which Californian city a few hours before his fatal crash?
Bakersfield.
Correct. In Rebel Without a Cause, what is Jim Stark's address, which the gang members chasing him get from Plato's notebook?
1753 Angelo.
It was indeed. You had two passes. The girls called Caleb the Prowler, and the title of the book that Leslie notices is How to Speak and Write Masterly English. But two passes, 13 points. So that's the end of the first round. Let's have a look at the scores. In fourth place with 4 points, Stephen Bolsover. Joint second place with 11 points, Kevin Johnston-Smith and Geoff Thomas. In the lead with 13 points, Chris McCoy. So, general knowledge now, and if there's a tie at the end of this round, then the winner's the person with the fewest passes. Let me ask Stephen Bolsover to join us again, if he would, please. And you're the very brave man who took a huge subject, Charles Dickens' works. My goodness me, what a lot of books.
Yes, I was told I couldn't be a scientist, so I...
Yeah, because that's what you do. You're nerve regeneration.
Yes, that's right. Looking for treatments that initially will give a little bit of improvement to spinal cord injuries and maybe in tens of years' time significant improvement.
Is it, and I know this is always a terrible question to ask a scientist, but is this one of those things where you can confidently say, we will crack it, we're just not quite sure when?
I think 5 years ago, maybe people would have said, no, it's all crossing fingers. But I think now there is considerable hope that, yes, it is getting somewhere.
Good luck with your work.
Thank you.
Let's see how you do with general knowledge. 2 minutes, starting now. Which common breed of black and white dairy cattle was introduced from the Netherlands in the late 19th century?
Frisian?
Yes. Which fruit, a cross between a mandarin and a grapefruit, has a name that describes its external appearance?
Ugly fruit?
Yes, Sir Edward Heath played the piano, and which other musical instrument for which he won a scholarship from Balliol College, Oxford?
Flute?
Organ, the name of which pigment used in painting browny yellow when raw and warm reddish brown when burnt, comes from the Italian city where it was found in Renaissance times?
Umbria?
Sienna, who perfected a process for making artificial mineral water which he began selling in London in the late 18th century?
Seltzer?
Schwepp, in classical mythology, which titan stole fire from the gods and gave it to man?
Prometheus?
Yes, which Lennon and McCartney song contains the lyric, Sweet Loretta Martin thought she was a woman, but she was another man?
Pass.
Which sailor was saved from isolation in February 1709 when he was rescued by Woodes Rogers, an English privateer commander on the Duke?
Alexander Selkirk?
Correct. Which type of flower did the French use as their symbol on Remembrance Day?
Fleur-de-lis?
The blue cornflower. Which writer married the literary critic John Bailey in 1956, 2 years after the publication of her first novel?
Iris Murdoch?
Yes. By what name was Lesotho known prior to gaining its independence from Britain in 1966?
Swaziland.
Basutoland, who, as the first signatory of the American Declaration of Independence, has given his name to a colloquial term for a signature?
Hooper.
John Hancock. Which Austrian composer numbered his symphony in D minor, written between 1863 and 1864, as naught?
Haydn.
Bruckner. The name of which day in the Christian calendar comes from the Latin for commandment, referring to the order Christ gave at the Last Supper, that we love one another?
Convention.
Maundy, Thursday. The gemstones ruby and sapphire are varieties of which mineral?
Silicon.
Corundum. Who starred as Vincent van Gogh in the 1956 film Lust for Life? Shall I put you out of your misery?
It's the famous father of a now famous son.
It is indeed, and I'll tell it to you because you're not going to get it. Kirk Douglas, well, now you know it. And the Lennon and McCartney song with Sweet Loretta Martin in it is Get Back. 2 passes, Stephen Bolsover, 9 points. And now Kevin Johnston-Smith, please. And I believe that it's the first time we've had a vet. One that certainly during my
Yes,
period
a lady
here.
vet won it about 20 years ago.
Right, well, that was before my time. Yes, a little bit before my time.
Really.
Right. So I suppose I've got to ask you, are we going a bit too far with... and this will upset many people. I need to refine the question, the way we look after dogs. I mean, we've now got, I read in the papers the other day, mineral water, bottled mineral water for dogs. Well, that's balmy, isn't it?
I should plead the Fifth Amendment on that, but I'm probably with you on that one, yes.
You're with me on that one?
Yes. Yeah.
Right, let's see how far we can agree then. How far is this going to go? I mean, we can keep human beings alive under all sorts of circumstances now. Are we going the same way with animals?
I think certain countries might do that way, and I have some...
You're thinking of the United States,
I have an
aren't you?
American
Yes.
colleague, and he thinks, yeah, sometimes I think we do push it a bit too far.
And what do you mean by too far?
Intensive care for sort of 6 months at a time.
Really?
I've heard some amazing stories. Yeah, they do
Lord.
push it a bit far. I think it's all a question of if you can do something that ensures the quality of life for the individual, not always the longevity. That's usually your best guidance. And it's not always right just to pile in the drugs and everything else. Sometimes you should step back a bit.
Right. Right, well, thank you for that. Fascinating. You've scored 11 points with your knowledge of prehistoric art. Let's see how you do with general knowledge. Mademoiselle Guillotine, published in 1940, was the last novel to feature which romantic hero?
Pass.
Which actor made the transition from child star to more adult roles, playing parts such as Wendy Craig's teenage screen son Adam in Butterflies?
No, it's gone for me, pass.
Opened in Hammersmith in 1886, which was Britain's first great exhibition hall, hosting the first motor show in 1905 and the first ideal home exhibition in 1908.
Earl's Court?
Olympia. Which Northern Ireland goalkeeper played his final international on his 41st birthday against Brazil in the 1986 World Cup finals?
Pat Jennings?
Yes, what was the name of the pilot of the U-2 spy plane shot down over the Soviet Union in May 1960?
Gary Hart?
Gary Powers. Which judge, who died in March 1999, shortly after celebrating his 100th birthday, was Master of the Rolls from 1962 to 82?
Donaldson?
Denning. Which 2 constellations trail Orion across the heavens as his hunting dogs?
Romulus and Remus?
Canis Major and Canis Minor. Prior to 1870, the movement for the unification of Italy was known as the Risorgimento. What is the literal meaning of this word?
Rebirth?
Yes, or resurrection. Who made his debut as a director with a screen version of Evelyn Waugh's novel Vile Bodies called Bright Young Things?
Orson Welles.
Stephen Fry. Which protected wading bird with an upturned bill thrives in reserves at Minsmere and Havergate Island in Suffolk?
Avocet?
Yes, in classical mythology, what was the name of Odysseus' maternal grandfather, the same name being given to a character in The Winter's Tale?
No, Tagus, no.
Autolycus. Which country singer duetted with Julio Iglesias on the 1984 UK Top 20 hit To All the Girls I've Loved Before?
Chris Christopherson?
Willie Nelson. Which particles are the majority charge carriers in an N-type semiconductor?
Protons?
Electrons. What is the speciality of an artist who's a member of the RSMA?
Royal Royal Society of Music and Arts?
No, it's close, but it's seascapes, actually. That's the speciality. Maritime art, I guess the M stands for. You have 2 passes. Nicholas Lyndhurst was the actor, whom, of course, you knew. Scarlett Pimpernel was the romantic hero in Mademoiselle Guillotine. 3 passes. Kevin Johnston-Smith, 14 points. And now Geoff Thomas, please. And Edith Piaf, whether you like her voice or not, had the most extraordinary life, didn't she? Dumped, abandoned by her mother. Her father came back from the war and saw a wretched little child.
That's right, yes. And it's really a miracle that she became to be, at one stage, the highest paid woman entertainer in the world.
Really. And
Piaf.
later, she was credited, wasn't she, with helping a lot of people to escape from the Germans. She sang in a POW camp.
She did indeed. She used to go to Germany. She was accused by some of collaborating for going to Germany and singing in German POW camps, but she did, in fact, help. It's been calculated between 200 and 300 Allied, mostly French, prisoners of war to escape by various stratagems that she employed. So she was connected with the resistance. She wasn't constantly on the wireless sending messages or blowing bridges up, but she was helping people to escape.
By golly, she could sing.
She could. She had a marvellous voice. She said, if I hadn't lived the life I have led, I would never be able to sing the way I do sing.
Yeah. Yes, well, you scored 11 points with her. Let's see how you do with general knowledge. 2 minutes. Who made his escape after his armies defeated Culloden dressed as an Irish maid called Betty Burke?
Bonnie Prince Charlie.
Yes, which star of the silent screen was born Gladys Murray Smith in Toronto in the 1890s?
Mary Pickford.
Yes, which Conservative politician, one of the longest-serving Lord Chancellors of the 20th century, died in October 2001, aged 94?
Hailsham.
Yes, in which event were Herb Elliott, Peter Snell and Kip Keino Olympic gold medalists in the 1960s?
10,000 metres.
1500. Which author was born in Daresbury in Cheshire in 1832, educated at Christ Church, Oxford, where he lectured in mathematics and later took holy orders?
Lewis Carroll.
Correct. What trade was St. Paul skilled in?
Medicine.
Tent making. Which American state's nickname, the Tar Heel State, is thought to come from an incident in the Civil War in which soldiers from that state held their ground while others fled?
South Carolina.
North Carolina. In which Verdi opera did the gypsies sing the Anvil chorus while sitting around their campfire?
El Trovatore.
Correct. Which spirit, in the form we know it today, apparently originated from an accidental discovery by a scientist in a laboratory in St. Petersburg in 1810?
Vodka.
Yes, in mathematics, which term is used to describe a number that's expressible as a ratio of 2 integers?
Fraction.
Rational number. The god Dagon, who was worshipped extensively throughout the ancient Middle East, is by tradition the inventor of which agricultural implement?
The rake.
The plough. In music, which time signature is sometimes known as waltz time?
3/4 time.
Yes. Which pre-Raphaelite painter's religious works include Finding of Christ in the Temple and Triumph of the Innocents?
Holman Hunt.
Yes. Which German words used for the 16 states into which the country of Germany is divided administratively?
Lender.
Yes. The letters MHK after a Manxman's name stand for what?
Member of the House of Keys.
Correct. In the television comedy series Last of the Summer Wine, what was the name of Nora Batty's husband?
Oh, Sid.
Wally. On which rocks 14 miles off Plymouth was the world's first offshore lighthouse built?
Bishop Rock.
Eddystone rocks. In Greek mythology, to whom did Zeus give control of the winds?
Zeus. Oster.
Aeolus. Which international arts centre in Cardiff, opened by the Queen in November 2004, is sometimes nicknamed the Armadillo?
The Millennium Centre.
Indeed. Outrageous, the Armadillo. Anyway, there we are. No passes, Geoff Thomas. 22 points. And finally, Chris McCoy, please. Now, the legend of James Dean. Why? 3 films he made, only 1 released during his life, and yet look where he is in the pantheon. Extraordinary.
Just timing, I guess. I mean, Giant has a tremendous effect on me. I fall asleep in it, you know.
Really?
Great sprawling story.
Yes.
You know.
Not the best movie ever made.
And it doesn't stand the test of time.
And he wasn't a great actor, was he? Well, he hardly had time to prove it, even if he was.
Well,
but...
he was short-sighted, he had no front teeth, he was 5'8", he had psychological problems.
And sticky-out ears.
And
you missed out the
sticky-out ears, yeah.
Sticky-out ears as well. Yeah. And, of course, he died at the right time. I mean,
exactly
from the point
right
of view
time.
of his reputation.
Yeah, just before rock and roll, the term teenager had been coined not many years before. So he just went right into his own particular strata and he fulfilled that role.
Well, you scored 13 points with your knowledge of him. 22 is the score to beat. Let's see if you can do it with your general knowledge. What nickname, meaning little boot, was given to the Roman Emperor Gaius Julius Caesar Germanicus, who succeeded Tiberius?
Caligula.
Yes. Which Nobel Prize-winning poet was a director of the publishing firm Faber and Faber from the late 20s until his death in 1965?
Wilfred Owen.
T.S. Eliot. Who was Home Secretary in 1910 during what became known as the Tonopandi riots?
Pass.
What poetic name is given to the A830, which runs from Fort William to the ferry port of Mallaig on the west coast of Scotland?
Lady of the Lake.
The road to the Isles. Which constellation lies between Leo and Libra?
Taurus.
Virgo. Which Billy Strayhorn composition became the signature tune of Duke Ellington's jazz orchestra?
In the Mood.
Take the A train. What name, because of its resemblance to the petals of a flower, is given to the device on older maps or charts that shows the principal directions?
Pass.
According to legend, but for the toss of a coin, which classic horse race might well have been known as the Bunbury?
The Derby.
Yes. Which revue that opened as part of the Edinburgh Festival of 1960 launched the show business careers of Alan Bennett, Jonathan Miller, Peter Cook and Dudley Moore?
Footlights.
Beyond the fringe, in English folklore, which month is known as Phil-Dyke?
November.
February. Bing is a sweet red variety of which fruit said to have been named by its American grower after one of its Chinese workmen?
Cherry.
Yes. Which mammal has the alternative names glutton, carcajou or skunk bear?
Honey bear.
Wolverine. The Australian Capital Territory, which includes Canberra, is an enclave of which state?
New South Wales.
Yes. The works of which British sculptor include the Kennedy Memorial in Dallas and the Eagle Lectern in Coventry Cathedral?
Basil Spence.
Elizabeth Frink. Which word for a bacterium is derived from the Greek for little life?
Pass.
Who succeeded his father Hirohito as Emperor of Japan in January 1989?
Akihito.
Yes. Which poisonous acid is found in rhubarb leaves?
Formic.
Oxalic. Which opera by Puccini is set in the days of the Californian Gold Rush?
Golden Girl of the West.
The Girl of the Golden West. Which computer standard for compressing images capable of representing, finish the question, up to 16.7 million colours takes its name from the committee who wrote the standard?
Harman.
Nice try. JPEG. I'd often wondered what that meant. 3 passes. Microbe is the word for the bacterium. Compass rose is that device on older maps or charts because of its shape. And Winston Churchill was the Home Secretary during the Tonopandi riots. 3 passes. Chris McCoy, 18 points. So at the end of the contest, let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place with 9 points, Stephen Bolsover. In 3rd place with 14 points, Kevin Johnston-Smith. 2nd place with 18 points, Chris McCoy. 1st place with 22 points, Geoff Thomas. Which means, of course, that he goes through to the 2nd round. Congratulations to Geoff Thomas. Do join us next time for more Masterminds. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.
What to expect when you're expecting as we catch up with the midwives on duty at a very busy maternity unit in Manchester. There's a new series at 9 tonight.